National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union members handed over a memorandum of demands to government today at the union buildings in Pretoria. Among other things, the union protested against the salaries of public servants not being increased and lapses in the provision of personal protective equipment for frontline workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, memorandums clearly explaining their demands were submitted to the government with an ultimatum of 5 to 7 days to respond positively and favorably to the demands, threatening to that failure to respond positively will unfortunately leave them with no option but to withdraw their labor in all the sectors that Nehawu organizes as of the 10th of September 2020. Joining me now to talk about this is the acting Gauteng Health MEC, Jacob Mamabulo. MEC, good evening and thank you very much for your time. The charge today on government is that you have failed to protect very crucial and important components to this fight against coronavirus, and those are the frontline healthcare workers.
Firstly, let me greet you. Good evening to you, to all the viewers. I must also thank you very much for an opportunity given to me. And I think perhaps the best way to approach the question you are posing is to first acknowledge the workers who died in line of duty, saving lives of others. And as government, in solidarity with those workers, we participated in a national event organized by Nehawu on Tuesday. And also in our province today, together with the Premier, we received the memorandum from Nehawu. And these are acts of solidarity that seeks to be put beyond any doubt our commitment to make sure that we protect frontline workers, but also pledge solidarity and remember and honor those who lost their lives in the course of duty. Yeah. So to that extent, I would like to say that the virus, COVID-19, definitely has had an impact on communities, on workers. And to that extent, I think we remain committed to make sure that to the best of our ability, in the most efficient and effective way, we protect every single life of community members, of workers, because only in that way can we live up to the commitment to save lives.
It's a similar commitment that has been made, of course, by your colleagues at National as well. That commitment, in fact, the commitment to the policy of no PPE, no work, right? Yet the members of Nehawu, the workers on the ground today, decided to take to the streets because they don't believe that commitment from your part. And you'll understand that in April, they made this call. They went to the labor court and similar promises were made to them that PPE will be supplied, no work, no PPE. But up until now, there are some workplaces that have not complied with the Occupational Health and Safety Act. And they are saying, well, when we complain, we get fired, and when we comply, we die. What do we do?
So just on the point you're making, in our province, TM and the viewers, let me assure you that we have even at a political level, the Premier has created capacity politically to make sure that we improve on workplace peace, stability, good labor relations in the province. And I'm quite sure that residents of our province and everybody will know very well that in this province, since the start of COVID-19, we have not experienced labor relations challenges at the scale and pace at which we saw in many parts of the country. And let me also say that just as a latest example, we in the province have directed all our, particularly health facilities and government departments, but that every day there should be meetings between organized labor and management in all institutions, particularly and most importantly, health institutions, to make sure that we can deal with personal protective equipment, because we have understood its importance in making sure that we prevent loss of life amongst those who have sacrificed and who continue to sacrifice their lives to save lives. So what I'm trying to say to you and to the viewers is that whilst, yes, there are challenges relating to the quality of PPE, which we were the first to acknowledge. I have been to the stores, to the warehouses. We did acknowledge that we had challenges with those. But in general, I think as a province, and when I moved across the hospitals, I've seen for myself, PPE was distributed, and many of the trade unions leaders have spoken to personally on the ground, did raise some challenges, but in the main, as a province, we have done our best to distribute PPE. And from where I'm sitting, we are also working very hard to improve. And let me also say, Premier David Makhura today publicly did state that the demands and the concerns of the workers are genuine. And we have made a commitment to make sure that those issues are attended to. So to that extent,
MEC, before we run out of time, I want you to address this. While you're on that point, that their concerns are being addressed, it's emerging from Nehawu that you yourself have been presented with facts and proof around interference in the procurement processes and maladministration that is being leveled against the Sidibeng District Health Director, Kananda Matsaneng. And they're saying you have refused to act on this director.
Well, let me say to the viewers that let me estimate perhaps 2 weeks ago, Nehawu in Sidibeng had in one of our facilities called Johannesburg, they had a protest action in which they disrupted work. And instead of taking action against them, I personally, with the Director General of the province, decided to stop everything just to meet with them to understand why will they breach the agreement we have in the province to address issues, because our door is open. They came to the meeting, we met with them, and first thing they did was to apologize for disrupting work without having given us the opportunity to address their issues. We accepted the apology. And then we said to them, they must allow us to test and verify the strength of the allegations they are making. Because, and we did say to them, that is also important for them. Because if we're going to arbitrarily take allegations against anyone, not tested, not verified, not investigated, that same practice is what workers are complaining about, that managers are persecuting them without following due process. So we agreed with Nehawu that allow us to go and test and verify the allegations you have made, so that the principle of natural justice can apply, and we must all uphold that principle. Now, we flatly want to, really, it is not true that we are not attending to the allegations. I think the issue here is that they expect us to have completed that within their own expectation in terms of time. We are conducting the investigation. We cannot and we shouldn't, in the context of our country's laws, arbitrarily find people on the wrong side of whatever allegations when we have not given them the opportunity to state their side of the story or when we have not tested those through a credible, remarkable process with integrity. So Nehawu must have the capacity to wait for due process to unfold, and that is also good for their own members, that due process. I know due process sometimes is difficult. People want to rush to conclusions, but our country is founded on the principle of the rule of law. At the core of that is here the other side. Right. And those processes, normally they take time, but we can't subject people to what at a later stage we can be accused of running a kangaroo court. We're a democratic state founded on good values, and due process is what every worker, when there are allegations against them, they will want due process to be followed. We protect workers every day against managers who charge them, subject them to disciplinary processes without due process. Now, so they must also, when it affects them, allow due process to take its course.
MEC, what is also expressed explicitly in that memorandum of demands that you received earlier on today is this issue of the increases which were due in the 1st of April. How are you going to address that issue?
Yeah, I hope I understand your answer, but the increases, in case you mean of salaries of workers.
Of salaries, yes.
Yes. So today we made it very clear that there are matters that are within the purview of the province, and collective bargaining on matters of salaries is a matter that is dealt with. Of course, we are part of it as a province. They are dealt with at national, with all the premiers of the provinces. So to that extent, on that matter, the Premier, David Makhura, made it very clear. The matters that fall squarely within our powers and within our jurisdiction, we will deal with those matters and make sure we meet the demands of workers. Those issues that reside at national, we have made it very clear we'll make our input there, and we will not want to prejudice that process or start to speculate on it or start to do anything that flies in the face of a national process led by Minister of Public Service and Administration.